Hi,
Hello.
so nice to have you here.
Thank you.
So maybe to start with, you can tell us your name and start off from the beginning. Growing up, where you grew up, where you were born, and all those good things.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you, Joy. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah.
Let me begin by introducing myself.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Fraciah
Yeah.
Wanjiko.
Mm-hmm.
My father is called Kionjure.
Uh-huh.
So I'm Fraciah Wanjiko Kionjure.
Mm-hmm.
How old am I? Oh my God.
21.
Yeah, 16 until I die.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was born and
Uh-huh.
raised in Muranga County,
Mm-hmm.
that is in Kenya,
Mm-hmm.
and in a village called Nyagatugu.
Mm-hmm.
Nyagatugu, eh?
Mm-hmm.
That's a very hilly place.
Yeah.
I think one of the highest part of Central Province.
Yeah.
And I grew up like every other child.
Mm-hmm.
When I think some of the most significant part of my life is that I went to a boarding school when I was still young. I was only 11 years old.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I grew up in a boarding school,
Mm-hmm.
primary school, high school. I went to the university.
Mm-hmm.
I loved going to church. That is one of my biggest highlights.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I got born again when I was very young.
Wow.
I was only 11 years. Imagine.
Wow. Oh, so you went to boarding school and got born
Yes,
again?
when I was still in class 5.
Ah.
Yeah, I went to a school where our headmistress was she was saved. She was a Pentecostal.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow she really helped us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
What school was that?
that was Kabare Boarding Primary School in Kirinyaga.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went to Kabare High School in Kirinyaga.
Mm-hmm.
So a good part of my life I was in Kirinyaga. I think I was in Kirinyaga for close to 8 years or 9 years. Yeah, thereabout.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then I went to Egerton University,
Mm-hmm.
and then I did many other I went to many other colleges.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, you're taking us too fast. So tell us, like when you would close school, how was it?
How was it for me?
Yeah, at home.
Let me even go back and tell you that I'm born in a family of 6. Are we 6? Yes, we are 6.
Yeah.
And I'm the 5th born.
Mm-hmm.
And for a very long time, for about 10 years, I was the last born.
Oh,
Until my mother thought we need to have somebody else.
Oh,
Yeah, so my brother came when I was 10 years old.
Ah.
And somehow I got some experience in raising a child. Because, at that age in the village, I was
A big girl.
I was the babysitter.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and somehow I have really related well with my brother.
Yeah.
I look at him sometimes as my son
Yeah.
and sometimes as my brother.
Yeah.
Yes, so what did you ask me?
Growing up, like I remember when we'd close school, I'd go grazing cows and everything. So I'm
Yes.
wondering what your experience was like in Muranga.
So growing up in the village, like I said, we are in a very hilly place. So our cash crop is tea.
No.
Yes. So during holidays or Saturday, Sundays, we'd go and pick, is it called plucking tea?
Yeah.
Yes, we'd pluck tea. And of course we had a garden. We'd go to the garden and we'd take care of the garden. I was raised by both of my parents, but my father was a weekend dad. In the village, the men used to go and work in the city. And so most of my time I spent with my mom and of course with my siblings. Like I mentioned, I was the last one for 10 years.
Yeah.
And so I was given the less work compared to my older
baby,
siblings, the baby. So when we have days when we need to do the dishes, like for me, either we'll do one day or I will not do because I'm the baby. And when we go to the garden, to the shamba to take care of, to till the land, of course I'll be given the easy part of it. And I was a very talkative child growing up. Yes, I was a very talkative child. So I would spend a lot of time telling them stories. And my mom used to, in fact I remember growing up, my mom used to tell me, I want you to work very hard because it looks like if you ever have to depend on land to earn a living, then I think you'll have a problem. Yeah. So I used to be a good storyteller growing up. And somehow I avoided working in the shamba because I didn't like it. And so my mother would get annoyed and she would tell me, you go back and cook, go at home and cook for us.
Yeah.
So I prefer to do the house chores. I think from when I was 10, 11 years, I would come and make food for the family. I would clean up the house. I would take care of my brother. Like I started learning how to do diapers at age 11.
You used to do diapers in your village?
No, of course not diapers. That's the napkins.
The cloth napkins.
Yes, the cloth napkins. But now if you said cloth napkins, and people will be like, what are you talking about?
So we need them to know how those days were like.
In fact, the white ones that you would buy, those ones were only when you're going to church and when you're going to the clinic.
Yeah.
The rest of the times, my mom would take a big bed sheet and then cut into small pieces. Yeah. And that's what you would,
Yeah, I think your mom and my mom were in the same WhatsApp
I know. So, I would take care of my brother. I would clean up his clothes. Imagine I used to clean his poop at that age. And I wasn't feeding bad.
Yeah.
I'll clean him up. I'll feed him. I learned how to make porridge when I was 10 years, when my brother was born. Because I used to feed him. And imagine when I gave birth, it wasn't hard for me to raise kids. I felt like I already had that experience with my brother. And of course, I used to discipline him. At one time, my mom was like, hey, you're beating my baby too much. And when I go to play, I'll put him on my back. We'll go and play. And then when the ball, I'll make sure it's the baby who is hit by the ball. And then I'll tell everyone, like, it's not me, it's the baby.
What was that, Kati?
I know, Kati. Yeah, then it's the baby who would be hit. Then I'm like, no, I haven't been hit. So I'll put the baby down, then I'll go back. Like I've told you, I was very talkative when I was young. So I was a storyteller. And of course, trying to have everything my way. Remember, I'm the last one. And somehow I have a way of sneaking. If things are not going my way, I will sometimes cry to seek attention. Sometimes my mom will speak for me because I'm the youngest. And for those 10 years, by the way, I enjoyed being a last one. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so basically that's how I grew up. Like any other child. I was introduced to church when I was still young. Sunday school was a must for me growing up in the village. When I went to school, my dad especially, he really upheld education. So one of the things he used to do, he used to ensure that we do very well in school. And he was very strict. I mean, you had to bring a good grade. So I used to really work hard.
So you were a top performer?
Yes, by God's grace, I was. Especially in the lower primary, I used to be position 1, 2, position 1, 2. Then I was taken to a boarding school. It became a little hard for me. But I still used to be a top 10. And that was all the way until I cleared Form 4. Yeah, so I wouldn't say that I'm those kids that, or those people that are really bright or have a high IQ, but I will attribute my success as far as education is concerned to really working hard. Like, I knew if I take anything less than 80%, especially for mathematics, it was going to be war.
So you are those girls that would wake up at 4 in high school.
I was a bookworm because I knew my dad will not take it lightly. Yes. So even in primary, I would wake up at 4 a.m. and go to school and go to class. I remember one time I didn't do very well. I was in class 7. And I prayed and fasted because I was.
Oh, you even knew how to fast?
Imagine. I prayed and fasted because I feared that my dad would kill me. And during closing day, I left my report card in school. And when I went home, I was asked for my report card. I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot it in my whatever in my
school."
Yeah, in the box. We used to have those boxes. Not even a locker. Boxes. Do you remember the metal boxes?
I remember.
Yeah. And my dad was like, "You know what? I'll take you back to school. To get it." I am telling you, I wrote him a letter. I told him how much I'm sorry. I even told him how much I fasted to pass my exams and I didn't pass. So, like I've said, I wouldn't say that I was such a bright child.
And was it the same with the other siblings? Was the expectation from your parents the same way?
Yes, it was the same, but my older siblings, they didn't perform so well in school. They didn't perform so well. So I would see how much my dad was, you know, quarreling them and fighting with them and saying, you know, sometimes our parents used to be very mean. I think my dad used to say very mean words to my siblings. And I really feared that. So I told myself, if I have to be friends with my dad, I have to really work hard. So I really used to do my best. Yeah, I really used to do my best. But my dad was very strict. As far as education is concerned, he was very, very strict.
So but that was, we would see the advantages because now he made you strive for the best.
Oh yeah. I remember he used to say, you know what, you people, I'm trying to do for you. I'm trying to get you out of the pit. I try so hard to get you out of the pit, and then you keep eating the rope that I'm using to get you out of the pit. Imagine that. That's what he used to say.
In Kikuyu.
I know. I wish I can say it, Joy. You know? And I'm telling you, when I used to think my dad can even kill me. Yet he never beat me even one day. So when I went to school, I used to do my best. And then of course he used to keep telling us about people who have succeeded in life. Especially, you know, every village there is those people who really work hard or people who have really done well in school. So he would compare us to those kids. Why can't you be like so and so? Why can't you be like so and so? So and so went to Alliance, so and so went to Manguhai. You know, those very nice schools. And I remember because I was the youngest, my dad, whenever he came during the weekend, in our house, he had actually he had a blackboard. Remember the blackboard that we used to use in school? So he had a blackboard in chalk, and he had set it somewhere in our sitting room. And when he came on the weekend, he would write down all the good schools. And then he would say, if you get this marks, you go to this school. If you get this mark, and now he's now talking to my older sibling. They say, but now you people, because you don't work hard, I don't even think you can get in a good school among these. And I kept saying to myself, okay, I really don't know what those schools are about, but I want to go to a good school. And so when I cleared class 8, I went to Kabare Girls High School. Today is a national school. Then it was a provincial school. I had really desired to go to a national school, but I'm glad I went to that school because that school really shaped the person I am today. Yeah, so, yeah.